Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. How are we today? How's your day going? I'm gonna say was. How's your day going? How is everyone? Just give me 1 second. Let me do a sound check. I always have to check because sometimes you would think you are talking, but it's only you you're talking to. You're only talking to yourself. Okay. Um, I'm not even able to see it as I usually am. All right, so okay, so let me just confirm that I am being heard. All right, so okay, so let me just. All right, so yes. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, because I know in some parts of the world it's already evening. Does it not, um, is it baffle now? Does it not somehow, it does it not do you somehow, let me use that expression, when, it's morning some places, afternoon some places, and even night some places, all at the same time, is a marvel to me. Is a marvel to me. And it just shows that this God is too much. We can say what we want, we can have all the discussions, we can do all the intellectual talk that we want, but the fact remains that this God is awesome. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining me from this beautiful day. Please just do let me know where you're joining me from, wherever you are. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you are joining me from. Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. I remain your personal guide on the journey of growth. And we've been on this journey for a while and we have learned so much and we have grown. Well, I'm sure we have grown, not just me, but we have gone through quite a bit in this journey. Today is session 70 what? 3? I think I even made a mistake in what I posted. I think this is session 73. Okay, let me just, I can't even remember now. See, that will tell you um, that it's been interesting up to 70 something sessions now. So yeah, I think this is session 73. Okay, it's actually 72. So correct. Session 72. I just had to quickly go back and look and see where we are. So this is session 72. 72. Can you imagine that? I'm even marveled that we have done 71 sessions. Well, all thanks to God. So this is session 72. I apologize for that. Um, yeah, another a call was trying to come in and cut off. All right, cut off our broadcast. I hope I can still be heard. Um, Let me just check. I hope I can still be heard. Okay, I can't hear myself. All right. Okay. So yeah, sorry for that break in transmission. There was a call that was trying to come in, and it cut off what I was saying. All right. So thank you for joining me once again on Growth Habits. As I said, this is session 72. Amazingly, 72. Sometimes I sit down and I wonder, what have I been talking about for these 70 something sessions? What have I been saying? Kelechi, thank you for joining me. Good afternoon from the beautiful city of Port Harcourt. So I used to sit down sometimes and wonder, what have I been saying for 72 sessions? If you know me well, you know why I'm wondering, because I am not the one to just keep talking. But here I am, 72 sessions. I've just been dishing out value because I know for a fact I've been dishing out value. Because not just, I'm not trying to be proud, but truly, people have called me, people that maybe I don't even know some of them. I'm wondering How did they? In fact, just on the 4th, that was my birthday. Yes. Oh, thank you all for celebrating me. I felt so loved on that 4th. I can't even explain it. People sent me messages both on Facebook, on WhatsApp, personal messages. People called. Honestly, I was amazed. It's not as if, sometimes when we say things like this, it looks like, you're just trying to be, humble. It's not humility. This is not humility. This is me truly marveled at what people wrote to me, what people said to me on my birthday. I am so grateful to each and every one of you. Usually, on my birthday, I don't make any specific post. I might just post some pictures and put, lyrics of the songs or something. But I don't go out and say, this is my birthday. And I used to use that as a trap. Let me just be honest, to see which of my friends will remember that it's my birthday. Because over the years, I found that people don't always remember my birthday. People that I expect to remember it, they don't remember. And maybe when they now see my post on Facebook, they'll quickly come and say happy birthday. I do it too. I also forget people's birthday. But to help me, I now had to put it like on my calendar so that it prompts me, this is this person's birthday. So I wouldn't post anything really. I would just highest pictures, put some lyrics of a song, and that's it. And people would just say, oh, you look so beautiful. They won't realize it's my birthday. But this last birthday for me, I felt it was a landmark. 55 years is not 55 days, it's not 55 months. 55 years of God's faithfulness. I just had to celebrate it. So I'm saying this to tell us a story of something that happened, why I know that I'm dishing out value here, and I know that people's lives are being touched. So my daughter came to tell me, oh, my friend said happy birthday. I said, do I know this friend? She said, not really. I said, okay, thank her for me. After a few minutes, she now came back, said, Mommy, I need to show you this. She showed me her chat with that her friend, whom I truly do not know personally. And the friend said that she watches me every Tuesday and that she enjoys the growth habit. In fact, she said it, the name, she enjoys growth habits. She enjoys the posts that I make. She enjoys everything. I'm like, wow. Which means that probably we are friends on Facebook and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we are, me and this her friend. Or she just came across the broadcast and she got value. If she didn't get value, she wouldn't have said anything to my daughter. It was not necessary. She had passed on her birthday greetings. So I know that the things that I share here touch people. It touches people. It impacts their lives. It helps them through some situations. I've had people honestly call me and they're like, oh, you said something on so and so that helped me through something. I'm wondering sometimes, I have to wonder, this topic I shared on this, did they really align with what this person is saying they got from it? But obviously, something I said helped them through something. So, yes, I'm grateful for this opportunity. Can you hear me now? Please do let me know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Am I audible? Hello? Okay, you can hear me now. All right. Okay. Okay, so my apologies for that. Obviously, I did not charge my microphone, so it has given up halfway. So no problem. No problem. I will ensure. In fact, you see, that's why sometimes it's good to I just realized this morning as I was bringing out this microphone to use that there's this film. Let me just show you this. You can see this little thing. Yes, this was at the bottom of that microphone. And I had plugged it throughout the night to ensure that it charges, not realizing that this film was at the bottom. So it prevented it from charging. And I didn't know until now. So hopefully my voice is loud enough and you can hear everything that I am saying. All right. So let me even hear myself. Let me listen to myself and see how the volume is. Hear myself. All right, it's not bad. So we will go on like this. All right. So I was doing a recap of what we have done in this series called Conversations, the Leading Edge, and I stopped with, I think, emotional intelligence is what I was talking about. I said that we have talked about leadership in general. We have talked about leadership styles. We have talked about communication skills in leadership. And then we talked about emotional intelligence in leadership. Oh my goodness, a call is trying to come. Please bear with me. A call, I think just 1 minute. I want to believe I can do this. This is interesting today. Please confirm that you can hear me once again. I think I'm back. Please confirm that you can hear me. I think I'm back. Okay, yes, I think. Okay, so sorry, my apologies. Technology is one of those things. So a call was trying to come in and I had to shut it off. I forgot. Usually I turn off my phone. I turn off the SIM card. Once I start the live session, I forgot to turn it off today. So my apologies. So we did the session on emotional intelligence in leadership, and I said emotional intelligence, all right, it's your ability to understand and manage your own emotions. But as a leader, you now add the element of being able to also manage other people's emotions. And in our last session, we talked about decision making in leadership. And it's a skill that is very, very key as a leader because most times you have a whole lot of decisions to make. That is one of the biggest parts of being a leader. You have a lot of decisions to make, and you need to be able to make those decisions effectively. You need to ensure that those decisions are even right to an extent. So that was what we talked about last session. We talked about decision making in leadership. Now, today, our topic is conflict resolution in leadership. And this is an important topic, and it's something that many of us experience. Generally, everybody experiences conflict, and everybody has to resolve conflict in one way or the other. For some of us, conflict resolution is easy. For some of us, it is difficult, but it's something that must be done. And the way you resolve conflicts determines how going forward conflicts affect you. Because conflict must come. This is one thing we have to know. There must be conflict in one way or the other. Because generally people are not the same. There are no two people, no two human beings that are exactly the same. There will always be differences. There will always be differences in opinion. There will always be differences in ideas. There will always be differences in reaction. It must be there. So what is important and what is key is how do you manage those conflicts? It's not a matter of whether there will be conflict, because there will be conflict. That is a given. So how do you manage conflicts? Do you just avoid the conflict, or do you make an attempt to resolve the conflict? Conflict avoidance is just not it. It doesn't solve any problem, but that is the solution many of us apply, including me. For some time, I used to be very adept at avoiding conflict and not resolving them. Avoiding conflict is just to, shift it aside. Is either, you just walk away from the situation without getting any resolution. You just, you don't want the stress, you don't want the trouble, and you just walk away. There are times for walking away, get me right. But most times, any conflict that is not resolved repeats. So it's essential, even as you walk away, ensure that that conflict is resolved. Ensure that whatever was the issue is taken care of, either just on your, because sometimes you can't really help what other people do. You can't help what they think, but you can help what you think. You can help your reactions. This was what we learned when we talked about emotional intelligence. So ensure that you are able to resolve conflicts. Don't just allow conflicts to fester. Don't just allow conflicts, and don't just put it inside, which is what we are taught mostly in this part of the world. We are good at just suppressing what we feel, suppressing the matter, not dealing with it. It doesn't even help you. In the end, it hurts you. So ensure that conflicts are resolved. Like I said, even if it's just resolving it on your own end, being okay, truly okay with it on your own side, even if that's all you are able to do, that is okay, that is good enough. Okay, so conflict normally arises when two people's interests are not in alignment with each other. That is why I say that it's inevitable that there must be conflict, because it's in rare occasions that you get complete compatibility. So conflict arises when people's interests are not in alignment. And this happens in every sphere of life. Every sphere of life. There is no sphere of life that you'll always have perfect alignment. There is none. So there will always be some misalignment. And that is what brings about conflict. You can also have conflict because of people's biases, cultural beliefs, cultural upbringing, social status. These are all things that could cause conflict to arise. And as I said, it is key that you resolve conflicts. Don't allow them to just be on the, suppress them or something. Ensure that you resolve conflicts. Ensure that you resolve conflicts. And more especially as a leader, don't allow conflicts to fester. Resolve them. And as soon as possible, let them be resolved. And as we're talking about conflict in the area of leadership, that means probably that there's a workplace, there is an environment that brought you and whoever the conflict is with together. And this has to be taken care of because, for example, in the workplace, there will always be conflict of interest. There will always be. There will always be opinions. There will always be beliefs. And these can quite easily boil over into conflicts if it's not well managed. This can boil over into arguments that, nobody can determine where they will lead to if they are not well taken care of. if they are not managed. So it's essential, especially like you have teams and you have different personalities in that team, you must be able to handle conflicts because they will surely arise. They will surely arise. Even just people's different personalities, conflicts will surely arise. And conflict resolution skills are basically the skills you have to handle different types of conflicts. However they arise, however they come about, you're able to diffuse the situation. You're able, that is the ability to diffuse whatever situation and not allow it to boil over. Those are conflict resolution skills. Your ability to diffuse situations. Instead of adding fuel to the fire, you pour water and everywhere is calm. Conflict resolution skills. And one of the let's say critical conflict resolution skills is the ability to listen, and the second one is the ability to ask questions. If you're not able to ask questions, ask the right question, not even just ask questions, probing questions of the parties, the tendency is that the conflict will not be resolved. And this is where your emotional intelligence skills also come in. Because one thing I found in conflict resolution is that many a times, what is causing the conflict is not even actually the matter on ground. There are deeper feelings, there are deeper emotions, there are deeper issues that the parties involved have not dealt with. And when you ask the right questions, you get them to deal with those deeper issues before we now come to whatever caused the issue at hand. I don't even know if anybody's still with me. I want to believe so. Just wanted to look on and check. Okay, I know the network is interesting these days. It's been an experience, I know, for many of us. Some people, their network is almost zero. For some people, it keeps cutting off. I was in a meeting, okay, on my birthday, yes, with some people, and the network kept going off and on, off and on. So we just had to end the meeting quickly because we were not really achieving much. So I know this could be part of the problem, but I will continue. You can always watch the replay, or you can go to on our YouTube channel and watch it. Because once I finish the live, I always post it on our YouTube channel. So you can go there and you can watch it. All right. So one of the most important skills, as I was talking about in conflict resolution, in fact, I was talking about two of the skills: active listening and asking thoughtful, probing questions. And I was saying that you need to be able to ask these questions because many a times the issue or the matter, the core matter of the conflict is not even whatever happened. For example, you have two colleagues that had a misunderstanding over, could be anything. Most times the issue is not whatever is that thing that happened at that time. There's something deeper. And when you ask thoughtful, probing questions, you would get to understand what was at the core of this issue, what was really the matter. If you don't get to the core and you just maybe settle whatever happened that day, the tendency that it will come up again in a different way. But when you get to the core, when you're able to ask probing questions, when you're able to listen to what people are saying, remember we're talking about this as a leader, and when you're able to listen to what people are saying, to truly listen, you will get to the core of the matter. Those that know me, those that I mentor, they know that you will not come to me and say, oh, ma, I'm having this problem, and I give you a solution. I don't do that. I don't do that. I would begin to ask you questions. I would ask you, or you tell me, oh man, I need to take a decision. What do you think? The first thing I would do is to ask you questions. And the aim of those questions is to get you to think a little deeper about what you want to do. And this is the same thing you apply when you want to truly resolve conflicts. Ask questions of the parties. Get to the core of what is happening with them. What is really the issue? It's not a lot of times, okay, let's assume this person spoke to the other person in a way that was rude, and then the other person responded because, that was rude of you, and then you begin to have a conflict. Many a times, the problem is not what the person said. That was not what caused the conflict. When you dig deeper, when you ask thoughtful, probing questions, and when you listen actively to what they are saying, you can get to the core and find out that, oh, maybe this other person has an issue with, people who are disrespectful because, she experienced it sometime or whatever. So when you get to that core, you can deal with the core matter. So that tomorrow, when someone speaks rudely to that your colleague or that's your employee, she will not spark up. She will not get upset, and another conflict will not arise. But if you did not get to the core and you just settled, oh, you spoke rudely, that was all, and you left it at that, the tendency is that when someone else speaks rudely, another conflict arises. This is why it is important to ask core questions. Ask thoughtful, probing questions when you're trying to settle conflicts. This is one of the key skills of conflict resolution, being able to ask these questions, these thoughtful, probing questions of the parties, and listening actively to whatever they're saying so that you can pick up on the next question to ask. Because truly, honestly, I've seen this work and it works perfectly well, as perfectly as it's possible for anything to work. When you ask these questions and you get to the core of the feelings, tomorrow, like I said before, when someone does a similar thing to whoever, they will not respond in the same way. They will not, because the real issue has been dealt with. So in resolving conflicts, ensure that you ask thoughtful, probing questions and ensure that you're listening actively to the parties. Okay, those, I don't know if I've ever settled any conflict and just jumped in and said you're wrong or you're right. I can't remember ever doing such. I would always give all parties the opportunity to speak. Let me even hear you out. Let me know what brought about this conflict. Let me know whether there's more, or is it just truly whatever was the issue at that time. It's truly, truly important. Very, very important that we ask as the leader, or you ask probing questions and you listen actively to all the parties involved. Another skill that is very, very important as a leader is that in the midst of trying to resolve conflicts, you yourself do not respond in anger. Do not respond in anger. So you can also apply this in your personal life. It's not just for leaders. I'm only particularizing on leaders because that is what this whole series of conversations is about. Do not respond in anger. Never respond in anger. Whatever is happening. See, this practice of a 1 second pause, we don't know how much good that does. See, this 1 second pause, 1 second pause. It does wonders. Before you react in any situation, take a deep breath, pause for a second, then react. What happens is that 1 second pause causes your emotions to do shh. The anger begins to dissipate. It's 1 second, but it works. The level of anger you had just before you took that 1 second pause is definitely not going to be the same level of anger you have at the end of that 1 second. Even if the anger is still there, it's definitely not the same intensity. So practice not responding in anger, whatever it is. Now this this is not an easy thing. I don't want to make it look like it's so simple. It is not simple, and I know it, but it is doable. It's something you can practice. It's something you can learn, and it will help you through a lot of things, not even just in conflict resolution. Normally, for me as a person, if a situation is becoming heated, whoever is involved is not relevant. If a situation is becoming heated, generally, because I've practiced this over time, it's not because it came naturally to me, it's because I've practiced it over time, I would always take a pause. The pause might just be in my mind. I would just stop. Many times I actually physically take a deep breath and let it out. By the time I do this, definitely, like I said, there is no way I'm still as angry as I was. There's no way. There is just no way. So just that physical taking a deep breath and letting it out calms your body first. And when your body is calm, your mind will be calm. Then you can respond responsibly. The same thing in resolving conflict between people. Let's assume two persons, two groups are in conflict and you need to resolve it. Don't get caught up in the emotions of the parties. Don't allow yourself to become, angry over, oh, you did this, you did. No. Find a way to respond calmly. Find a way to calm yourself down so that you can respond calmly. So that you can even really listen, like I said as one of the first points, to be able to listen to what people are truly saying, not just the words that are coming out of their mouths. So that is a key skill in conflict resolution. Another skill that is very important as a leader in conflict resolution is flexibility. You can't afford to be overly strict when you're resolving conflicts. Yes, there are some absolutes. People should not lie. That is an absolute. You will not now begin to condone lying, no. But you need to be flexible in such a way that when you're resolving a conflict, no one comes out of that session feeling cheated. It should be a win-win. It should be a win-win. A win for everybody all around, including you, that is resolving the conflict. And see, it is so doable. Sometimes, even when I hear some things that people say, I wonder whether we live in the same world, really. It is doable to have a win-win. Nobody has to be the absolute winner in a conflict. No. We can all win. It is actually possible to have a win-win in a conflict. It's very, very possible. So always look for that solution that brings the win all around. Always look for that solution. I've mentioned listening to both parties and listening dispassionately, listening objectively to both parties as the conflict resolutor, as one that's trying to resolve the conflict. Listen to both parties dispassionately, objectively. These are not easy skills, but they are skills that you can learn. Listen to both parties objectively. It will help you in the process of asking probing questions when you listen, asking thoughtful questions. When you listen to both parties objectively and dispassionately, you would know what to ask. You would know what to do next. Okay. Then the next thing that you will practice in the process of resolving conflicts is never rush rush into conclusions. Never. Don't rush to any conclusions. Berida Henrietta, welcome. I'm glad you joined me this afternoon. Never. That is, do not rush into any conclusions. One thing that I found out is that things are not always what they seem. They are not. Things are not always as they seem. There is always something a little bit deeper. When you dig, you'll find it. But when you rush and conclude, when you rush into conclusions in a conflict, you miss that deeper. You miss it. 100% of the time. Yes, make sure no party comes out of that conflict feeling cheated. Yes. Kelechi, correct. It is essential, really. It's essential in conflict resolution that nobody comes out feeling cheated. That does not mean that you will not judge right. It does not mean that you will not apportion blame. Let me say that before I move on. It does not mean that you will not apportion blame where blame needs to be apportioned. But in apportioning the blame, ensure that you're apportioning blame both sides, because there is no conflict that arises that both parties don't have a part to play. There is none. If person A was rude to person B, now that is what person A has done wrong. He was rude. But when person B does not respond to the rudeness, you know that there's no conflict in that situation now. Because person B did not respond to the rudeness. So there is both sides. Apportion blame. Whoever needs the higher portion of the blame, apportion it. But ensure that no one comes out of that conflict resolution session feeling cheated. No one. They will know what they did wrong. You will tell them what they did wrong, but they will not come out feeling cheated. Okay, I was talking about being patient and not rushing into conclusions before I saw the comment from Kelechi. I can't overemphasize the need not to rush into conclusions. Okay, going back to this example of person A was rude to person B. You can quickly rush into conclusion and say, oh, it's because this person doesn't have home training. That's why he or she is rude to someone else. But it's also possible that this person A was rude to person B because they have taken enough of person B's rubbish. You know, it's possible that this person has, person B has been doing things that's been getting on the nerves of person A, and then when it has reached them here, they react by being rude. If you rush to conclusions, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't have found out this deeper reason. You would have left it at the surface and concluded and judged when there was a deeper thing. So yes, it is very essential not to ever rush into conclusions. If you really want to resolve a conflict, if you truly want to get to the core, do not rush into any conclusion. Do not assume anything. Be objective. Be objective. Ensure that you are patient and you're not rushing into any conclusion. You never know many times. Most situations, there is always a deeper cause for that conflict. And your assignment, your work as the one that wants to resolve this conflict is to find the deeper cause. Like I said from the beginning, if you don't find the deeper cause, this conflict will repeat, maybe in a different way, maybe between two other people, but it will come, it will repeat. So ensure that you get to the core by not jumping to conclusions, by asking probing questions, thoughtful questions, by listening actively, by being objective in your assessments, in your judgment. Don't jump to any conclusions. Do not jump to any conclusions. Okay, I've mentioned active listening. Another thing you could do when you're trying to resolve conflicts is to help people practice stress management, because a lot of times a lot of conflicts arise because people are stressed, not because the person wants to be rude or anything. They're just stressed. And if they can do some practical stress relief activities, it could actually douse a lot of conflicts, especially in a work environment. A lot of the conflicts that happen in work environments is because people are stressed, not even because the person is rude or whatever. Many times it's stress that is built up and then causes this outpouring of annoyance or vexation or whatever. So practice stress relief, stress management practice. It helps. You and those you lead, practice it. Another thing in resolving conflicts, always find a compromise. Now, sometimes when we say find a compromise, it can sound like you're just trying to manage. No, that is not what I mean by finding the compromise. Just like I said, people should not come out of any conflict resolution activity feeling cheated. Find the middle ground. It exists. Find the middle ground and encourage and help those that you're leading or those that you're settling the conflict for to find also that middle ground and be at that middle ground. It does exist. Find it. Find that compromise position. And I mentioned that if there is blame to be apportioned, apportion it rightly. Apportion it rightly. Always point out what people did wrong, but at the same time, don't overblame anyone. So that they don't come out feeling cheated. Remember, that's the aim, to ensure that they don't come out feeling cheated in the conflict resolution matter. Give me 1 minute, I need to drink water. So ensure that no one comes out cheated at all. I cannot overemphasize that. Okay. So I think we have covered quite a lot in conflict resolution. But let me just mention some key things that we have discussed, even as I round up. As the leader that's trying to resolve any conflicts, you have to always get to the root cause of the conflict. Very, very important. And you do this by asking probing, thoughtful questions. This is how you get to the root. And this is where your emotional intelligence skills come up. Your ability to manage your emotions and somehow also manage the emotions of others. This is where that comes in. Be able to understand, be able to dig out, be able to find the root causes of conflicts. Don't settle with, oh, this is just that surface thing that happened, whatever was the conflict. Don't settle on that surface. No, there is always something deeper. Dig and find it. Dig and find it. Allow people also I don't think I mentioned this. No, in resolving conflicts, allow people to speak openly. Allow people to speak with this is why it's essential that you don't judge. When I say judge, I don't mean that you don't settle the cases. You don't apportion unnecessary blame. Allow people to speak openly. Allow people to be able to express their opinions and their thoughts and their feelings openly. It will help you in that being able to ask thoughtful questions, probing questions. This is where you get what to ask is from people being able to express themselves openly. People being able to talk without feeling that their opinions or what they're going to say will be judged. I hope we understand what I'm saying. People need to be able to be open and to speak openly to you for you to be able to truly resolve conflicts between people. If they're not able to speak openly, you can only judge so far. You will only have surface information. And when you have surface information, you will judge surface also. Okay, so ensure that you promote that people are able to speak openly with you for you to resolve any conflict. Active listening was another thing we mentioned. Listen to people, listen to their words, listen to their actions, pay attention to what they are saying without words. Yes, pay attention to the things they are trying to pass across without saying it as words. Pay attention to that and find a way to apply that. So you need to practice active listening. You need to practice active listening, which will help you in asking the probing questions, in asking the thoughtful questions. You see how all these things connect? Very essential. These connections must be made. And once you have resolved the conflict, there is a need to follow up. You don't just resolve it today and forget all about it. Ohano Kachibweze, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so glad you came on board this afternoon. So I was saying that once you have resolved a current conflict, please do follow up. Don't just leave it there. You have resolved it, that is it, everybody go. Ensure that you follow up. Try to find another opportunity to check on the parties involved and see whether truly they have moved on from the conflict, and to see whether truly they've learned the lessons, to see whether truly whatever solution was preferred, is it working? It's essential to do this follow-up. When you don't do a follow-up, okay, you've resolved the conflict, you've listened, you've asked questions, you found the core, the root causes, the core issue, you have found all that, you've discussed with the two persons, you've apportioned in what let me call it blame, you've apportioned it where it's due, you've corrected where you needed to correct, and you go. And you leave it at that. And you don't do a follow-up. You will not know truly whether all the things you did they take it to heart? Did they really pick it up? Or did they just, leave it there? So it's essential to do a follow-up after you have done all this that I have mentioned. You have to do a follow-up. Now, if you're in an environment, in a work environment, you can actually do conflict resolution trainings for your team, for yourself, because it's not just the leader that needs to learn how to resolve conflicts. Everyone in the team should be able to resolve conflicts, because it's not every conflict that you will be available to resolve. It's not every. So you need to ensure that your team knows how to resolve conflicts, that your team understands how to dig out the root causes of conflicts, that your team understands how to listen, how to ask those probing questions, and how to stay neutral and objective. Do, organize conflict resolution trainings for your team. And when I say team, it's not just in a work environment, please. Even, in church environment, in our homes, conflict resolution is essential. You need to have that skill. You need to have that skill, because conflicts will surely arise. Remember that when I started, I told us because we are different. Conflicts arise because of differences of opinion, differences of interest, differences in beliefs. These are all the things they are normal, everyday occurrences. They are things that is part of our experience as human beings. They're just part of our experience as human beings. So because of that, conflict will always arise, and we need to learn how to deal with it. We need to learn how to resolve conflicts to ensure that even if they reoccur, they don't reoccur with the same intensity. But most times, when you truly get to the root cause of a conflict and you deal with the root causes, that particular conflict will not arise again. Other ones may arise because, we are living, we are human beings. Things will continue to change for individuals. We don't remain the same. And because we don't remain the same, there will always be changes, there will always be disagreements, but not the same disagreement over and over. So that is why we need to learn how to truly resolve conflicts as they happen. As they happen. Once you do it that way, then there will be no need to keep resolving the same conflict. Welcome, Chibuchi Diade. I'm glad you joined. Oh, if Kochifi, you're welcome. I understand the timing issues for you. It's not easy, but thank you for always joining me. Thank you so much. All right, so I think I would draw the curtain here. Remember, today we talked about conflict resolution in leadership, and we mentioned that there will always be conflict. As long as we're alive and we're human beings, there will be conflicts in our homes, in our office, wherever. Yes, okay, Kelechi, you said in resolving conflict, yes, note this, said it, no, it's ask questions, ask probing, thoughtful questions, relevant questions. Allow people to speak openly. Okay, she has just done the summary I want to do. Allow people to speak openly. Practice active listening. My tongue seems not to be working as fast as my brain this morning. It's trying to be faster. Okay, so yes, in summary, what I talked about in resolving conflicts is, yes, one, know that conflict will always exist. Don't ever think it will not exist. They will exist. Then prepare to resolve them. Prepare to resolve conflicts. Don't suppress them and move on without resolving them. Resolve the conflicts. And you resolve them by probing. Ask relevant questions. Ask probing questions. Ask thoughtful questions. Listen actively. As you're trying to resolve, people are talking, listen to what they are saying truly, not just the words that's coming out of their mouth. Listen to all that they're trying to say. As you understand the root cause by asking these questions, listen actively, allow people to speak openly. Allow people to speak openly. That is where you will get the information you're looking for. When people are speaking guardedly, you will not get the information and you will not really truly resolve the conflicts. Be neutral. Be objective. Be neutral. Be objective. Do not be biased. Don't favor any party. Hard to do, but doable. Don't favor any party. Be neutral. Be objective. Be objective. Follow up with the parties after you have resolved the conflict. Follow up. Don't just assume that, okay, everybody's fine. Always follow up just to ensure that everything is okay. Just to make sure that there is nothing else lingering. I mentioned that most times there's a deeper emotion involved when there is a conflict. It's not just the emotions that came to the surface during the conflict. There's usually deeper emotions involved. So that's why one of the reasons why you need to follow up, just to ensure that those deeper feelings, those deeper emotions, those deeper issues have been dealt with. And when you resolve conflicts, when they arise, the possibility that is truly resolve them in these ways that we have spoken, the possibility that that same type of conflict will arise again is way reduced. Is reduced. Maybe another type of conflict will arise, yes, but not that same thing that you have dealt with properly. So ensure that conflicts are dealt with properly. Now, as I said, I tailored my discussion to leaders, leaders and people who are in leadership, but you can apply this in every aspect of your life. You can apply it in your personal life, with your friends, family, whoever. You can apply these same principles. It's possible to resolve conflicts with people without anyone coming out cheated. It's possible to have a win-win in conflict resolution. And that should be your aim in resolving any conflict, to ensure that no one comes out of that experience feeling cheated. Ensure that no one comes out of it feeling cheated. What happens when people come out of a conflict resolution session feeling cheated is that next time, one, they will not be open, they will not want to talk, they will not want to speak, and they will not want to be part of your next conflict resolution session if there is any other one. But they will not be open going forward because they didn't feel heard in this session. Why would they bother with another session? So ensure that people don't come out of any conflict resolution session feeling cheated. Try your best to ensure that they don't come out feeling cheated. This is important in resolving conflicts. And I think I've covered everything that I mentioned. I mentioned being patient and not rushing into conclusions while resolving conflicts. Very important. Very, very important. I mentioned not responding in anger. Yes. In that process, don't allow any anger. Hard, but doable. Don't allow anger. So with this, if you practice these things, you will find that your environment, whether work environment, home environment, is more peaceful. It's more peaceful because there's less conflict. Not that conflicts will disappear. They never actually truly disappear. They just reduce, they lessen, and they are less intense, the conflicts. So, well, with that, I come to the end of this session. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this afternoon. It's always a pleasure. I say this all the time, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It's always a pleasure to share this time with you. And I appreciate each and every person that takes out time to either join the live or listen to the replay. I appreciate you. Those I know, those I don't know, I appreciate you. Just like I told us at the beginning of someone that I really don't know, but came through, told my daughter that she watches and she gains value. So thank you all so much. Thank you. I truly appreciate every single person that joins me on Growth Habits with Ngozi and that watches the replay. I know that you're getting value. And so I plead with you that as you're getting value, please share the links to this broadcast, to this channel. Share the links with your friends. Share the links with your family. Put it on your status. On Tuesday mornings, put the flyers on your status, or Monday, whenever, put the flyers on your status. Invite people to share in what you're enjoying. Because as you're receiving value, you should also extend it to others. Invite people to the YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook here. We are in every social, okay, except maybe Snapchat. We have not gone to that side, and Twitter. I don't know. For me, Twitter just seems a little too toxic for me. I don't know. So I have a Twitter account, but I don't know if I use it for anything really, truly. But for now, we're on Facebook, Growth Habits with Ngozi, Instagram, Growth Habits with Ngozi, TikTok, Growth Habits with Ngozi, YouTube, Growth Habits with Ngozi. So you see, it's very easy, very simple. Follow us on all our social media handles. I want to believe that the links, I hope that I enabled it to get my books. I put it up before I started this live session. I want to believe I enabled it. I can't even say now, but if I didn't, I will try and I will check. I will try and ensure that it's showing to get my book, Unleash Your Best Self. Get the book, get the journal, use them together. You will enjoy it much, much better because the book just gives you, thoughts, prompts that will help you put something down in your journal. So ensure you get the book. The link for Seller is there and the link for Amazon is there. Please support us and get it will help you. Truly, it will help you. One of my daughter's friends that bought the book, I called her, I said, please be honest with me, tell me. She said, Ma, this book came at just the right time. I'm following each of the daily prompts and I'm writing down what comes to my heart, and it's been helping me. So do get the books. It will help you on your journey of growth. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. See you next week, Tuesday, where we'll continue our conversation. I can't remember the topic. Interesting. I was trying to remember the topic for our next discussion, and for some reason it's escaping me, but I think it's team building. Is it a team building or motivation? Not sure. Anyway, I will let us know what it is. All right. Thank you so much for joining me once again this afternoon. It's my pleasure to share this 1 hour with you every Tuesday right here on Facebook Live. 12 noon is the time. Thank you for joining me and remember, let me conclude with this. Remember to make today count. Be valuable in all that you do and ensure that you're always growing. Thank you for joining me once again. Have an awesome day. Bye.